All right, Mr. Philip Bloom, thanks for answering a few questions. So, it's your first time to the Photokina. What are your impressions?
This is an insanely large show. I've been to NAB and I've been to IBC many times. This is just so spread out and huge. There's just an enormous amount of stuff here. For me, as in video, it's not enormous stuff as interest to me, but it's interesting to have a look at all this different stuff. And just the size of this Canon stand, for example, is insane.
What were your personal highlights?
From here, too soon to ask that question. This is the first day of the show. I've not had a chance to see anything. I'll tell you what I want to go and see. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Leica M, which I'll probably be drooling over, because I've got a 9 and it's lovely, but it's not great in low light. So I would love to sell my 9 and buy the 10, but my girlfriend won't let me. And there's loads of other cameras out there, loads of stuff on the Sony stand and things like that. And the cool thing about this is that I've got loads of friends here, people I know, and also meeting people who I don't know who know me, and maybe I know them from Twitter or something like that. So these things are always good for that. So I do enjoy these shows, mostly for the social aspects.
What do you think about the market development? There's a whole bunch of new cameras coming out, and do you think it's the time of DSLRs is over yet?
I think that the use of DSLRs in video is certainly far from over. I think it's changing. It's definitely aimed now more at the lower end market, more than, say, we were maybe 2 years ago, where the 5D2 was in everything. But when we have cameras now like the C300, and those sort of cameras come out, there is no real reason in higher end productions to use a DSLR now, because these cameras are still small, and you can use them as B cameras, you can use them as A cameras. There's still a use for DSLRs, but just not as big. I think it's definitely much more in the lower budget crowd. And they're getting better. They're getting much better, and that's the key thing. You look at the 5D3, it improves on the 5D2 enormously. The image is way better. We lose those image issues and things like that. I still have a DSLR with me all the time as a B camera and for use in time-lapse. And I once had to use it as an A camera when my A camera went down, and it covered just great.
I read your blog post about the Canon 1DX and how you like the look of it.
Yeah, the 1DX I did buy after using it and not being excited by it initially about another DSLR, another full-frame DSLR. I've got a 5D Mark III. What can this offer me? And the image out of it is different, and it's better, without a doubt. It's a more expensive camera, but there's something about the image on the 1DX which is just beautiful. It holds highlights better, it's sharper, it looks more organic. It just is wonderful, and it's better in low light. So I'm going to start using that more and more. I used it for a music video recently, and I had a C300 with me, and I left that in the car, and I got the 1DX out, and a great decision for me because it just looks different, way more filmic. Something about it, I don't know what it is.
I understand you have a C300, which I like very much, but in terms of budget, the C100 is more affordable. So what do you think about that one?
I've not had a chance to really use the C100 yet. I've held it and I've seen footage from it. It looks great. I mean, it's cheaper. It's lost a few features that I like on the C300, but for the price, it's great. A lot of people will look at the specs and go, that's no good, but they've not held it, they've not used it, and that's the sign of knowing what a camera's like, is actually using it. Until you shoot something with it or hold it and all that sort of stuff, you don't know just how good it is. Specs lie. Use the camera and try it. That camera's tiny, and I can see it fitting into my productions really well because it will match the C300 beautifully because it has the same C-Log profile. It's a great low-budget C300.
All right. Is it a good time to be a filmmaker?
There's never been a better time to be a filmmaker in the sort of respect of the tools are so affordable and so good. Not just affordable, they're good, they're great in fact. And now we have nothing holding us back from telling great stories and making it look $1 million. They don't need $1 million anymore. We can make it look $1 million. And the key thing is getting these tools which will help us and not hinder us. These new tools like the C300 makes my life enormously easier. And that's the most important thing for me. I don't want stuff to get in the way. I just want them to work and work beautifully.
All right. Thank you very much.